Hello, my name is Dale. Join me as I tour the Ashland Estate Gardens in beautiful Lexington, Kentucky. This was the home of Henry Clay, who was a popular politician who died in 1852. He had 3 unsuccessful presidential bids, but was well loved as an orator of the time, and he's buried in the Lexington Cemetery. He is featured. Folklore states that he is one of the people on our flag of Kentucky, as well as Daniel Boone. They're shaking hands on our state flag for the Commonwealth. He had 2 sons, I believe, and one of them was named James Brown, and I'm of the opinion that it's always a good idea to name your kid James Brown after the godfather of soul. Mr. Clay also introduced the mint julep to Washington, D.C. politicos. Ashland also features a mansion that can be toured by the public for a nominal fee, and it's a 17-acre park, beautiful trees all around. I'll get a quick panning view of them, and then we're going to begin our tour of this exquisite garden. So here we have an overview of some of the hedges and shrubbery, and it's named Ashland because of the abundance of ash trees here. If you want to learn more about Henry Clay, you can tour the facilities or check him out online. So as you enter, you're greeted with these begonias in some flowering pots. And we're going to buzz around the entire perimeter, and then we'll get a look at some of the other items. It's beautiful stonework throughout this garden, as you can see, and some very nice selections. And I'll point out the plants that I recognize as we take our tour. So we have some lamb's ears and ferns. One picture I found long ago showed the people who were planting this garden, and these hedges at that time were very, very, very small. Alright, so some shrubbery. And we also got some, I'll use my clippers here that are handy to do some pointing. Lily of the Valley. Looks like they're trying to get some ajuga established, which is a beautiful ground cover. Lots of plants packed in here, so you can really note a lot of exciting things in a small amount of space. Alright, this white flower is phlox. And then this was a summer bulb, which is finished up, but a few weeks ago it was in full display, and that I believe is called a naked lady. This plant looks similar to goat's beard and also snake root, but I think it's a stilby. It's one of those. We have here some nice day lilies. Overview of this section we're on right now. So, some sedums about to blaze brilliantly. This, if I'm not mistaken, is turtle head. It's going to bloom at the same time as the plant behind it, which is Japanese anemone. It's going to be a fine combination. We have some daisies. Okay. Down here, I think we have some geraniums established here at the base. This is Joe Pieweed, Eupatorium. A dazzling display, a tall plant, and with the warmth of this stone behind it, maybe in future years it'll get even taller. Maybe. Some more ferns and anemones, and a beautiful plant here on the wall. I believe that is a hydrangea vine. It's one of the only self-clinging vines that has a great ornamental value. Maybe the only hydrangea in this park. Okay, moving on, we have black-eyed Susans there, often planted in concert with echinacea. Okay, down here we've got another one, but I can't really ID that one, sorry. But there hiding. Its charms are not lessened any by its hidden spot. Right. Just a mixture of ferns and other exciting plants. And then we can see how the gardeners in this area have mashed many plants together. Oh, and we do have still some daylily blooms. Looking very fine. And these are gardenias, shrubs. Just around here we can see one of the blooms, fragrant gardenia, one of my absolute favorites. And now, since we're in the area, I'm going to take you into this small courtyard. Everything is very well laid out. This was a fantastic design. And then we have some more begonias, the holly tree. All right, a fine place to enjoy some champagne on the summer evenings. This small courtyard. Alright, now that we've learned the plants in this area, I'll just breeze through and you can enjoy identifying them on your own. Okay, this is a new one, Helleborus, or the Lenten rose. It'll be blooming next year. This looks like a balloon flower right there. It seems like of all the plants around, it should still be in bloom though. Okay, in the back we have spiderwort. Unusual fleshy stems. More phlox. Oh, and here's a bloom on the naked lady bulb. I don't know the Latin name or any of the other common names. Alright, and we do get to be treated to this Japanese anemone in bloom, and the combo with the white. Hopefully it hasn't been blurry up to this point. Sorry if it has. Alright, some echinacea, a little past its prime. Looks like it was a white variety, or at least a very light pale purple. And some hostas in the back, just there. And then here we have some Solomon seal. That's the real stuff, I think. There's false Solomon seal as well. On the bottom, they've chosen, for this ground cover, Creeping Jenny. And then there's a peony. Beautiful plants. This garden, I believe, has a whole section devoted to peonies and a peony sale in the spring. Alright, this one is a sorry, I'm not going to be able to remember it. But it's in a family of plants that have these nice purple look. It's purple look to them. This is Baptisia. Often you'll see dark seed pods on them at this time of the year, that maybe the gardeners will come along and snip them off. Alright. Some more healthy, vigorous plants. You can see the seed capsules there of the Solomon seal. Alright, here's another unusual plant, although, sorry, I can't ID it. Looking good. And behind this show of anemones, another plant in bloom. Delightful deep royal purple. Okay, now here's a few more plants we can ID. This one's called Arum. And it does have leaves before it sends up this unusual stalk, but the leaves have been taken away. Alright, and then this plant is called Epimedium, which will bloom in the spring. Yellow or possibly white if it's a rarer variety. Alright, and so now we also have another twining crop. These odd little tufts. Okay, now we can see some of the other vistas available to us, available to visitors. Alright. ground cover that they've allowed to take over this area. Alright, a blend of foliage here that we can enjoy together. This is the spiderwort again with coleus. It's a very sturdy coleus, big one. So this is the blooming central. This wing. And then here we do have a nice hydrangea. So no garden is complete without this plant. Alright, and here we have a salvia, I think. I think I'm right about that. This one is catmint. That bluish tone, it's really nice. This one similar to Russian sage, if you wanted that bluish look. And back there in the back, looks like a rose. We'll be seeing a lot more roses later. I think these are some nice white annuals. Alright, moving forward, some other nice, oh! And then here's the Russian sage I mentioned a moment ago, in full glory. Hopefully the light is okay for everyone. Right, here's an aromatic plant called lantana. And this one has the multicolored flowers, making for a fine display here. So lots of good color in this area of the garden. And it's really a study in mashing things together. Alright, not too sure what that is. More excitement. Okay, maybe to our left we'll be able to have a quick look at this very formal planting. And then over there's the herb garden. Some more trees and ground cover in their spots. Very beautiful. So they must be getting ready to do their maintenance duties to get rid of these spent stalks. More geraniums, nice hardy ones, and a very nice show here, and we can enjoy the blooms of this plant, although I don't know what it is. Sorry about that. Okay. Potential here, the earth in this garden filled with so much nurturing goodness. So many wonderful things to enjoy. Here's some hosta in bloom. So a very late blooming variety in beautiful purple. You'll also find white hostas, and that's a variegated variety. Exquisite. And a bench to enjoy being seated on. Here we have Pachysandra, which has taken over this small zone. It's been controlled with some selective weeding. And another vantage point. There we are. We can take a look at some of the other formal elements of this beautiful garden. Alright, moving forward. This bloom looks almost like feverfew. It's like a double bloom, but don't think that's quite right. But if you want this effect in a plant that tops out at 1.5 feet, you would want to go for feverfew, a fine choice. Alright, I believe these are our coral bells. Don't quote me on that. So in a range of foliage here, it's early August right now, so you can see that lots of things have already bloomed, but some of the mainstays, such as phlox of the late summer garden, are still in full display. And phlox can also be topped, and it will bloom again and again, but these are very tall. I don't think that they have seen the clippers yet this season. Alright, if I'm not mistaken, this one, it's a little pointy though, but it might be mist flower. Scratch that. I don't think that's mist flower. So some voluminous clouds. A very pretty geranium creeping Jenny display with some ivy. You can see that it's well tended overall and beloved by many. And just over there, some very formal trimmings. Those hedges have been made into the shape of human beings. We'll get a close look in a couple of moments. Yeah. Some kind of a double flower. Very big. Hope you're enjoying the tour so far. This is beautiful. Rusty yellowish peach color. It needs some deep purple hues near it to complete the sunset effect. Oh, but when it comes down, it must be this awesome red. Blood red. Alright. Fine show here. Very fine show. Oh, and here's probably the most advanced sedum I've seen all year. This is a great plant which will stand all winter long with these nice yarrow-esque tops. Okay, here's some very fine foliage. I wish I knew what this one was. It looks almost like meadow rue, but much taller if that was correct. Alright, and another bench for your pleasure. These might be asters waiting to bloom in the coming weeks. Some big sturdy asters. I don't think they have any goldenrods in this garden. And then here's the leftover evidence of the astilbe. A very beautiful border planting of shade-tolerant plants. Oh, here's a new one for us to ID. This is Penstemon digitalis, or beard tongue. I guess I could have been doing my best to give all the common and Latin names, but all you need to know, this is the red-stemmed beard tongue. I'm glad they're leaving the seed heads intact. And some more hellebores. So overall, fantastic garden. And then there we have another view of the very formal hedges and some roses. Well, if I'm not mistaken, this is monkshood. If so, it's a really sturdy and tall variety. I'm very happy where it is. Soon to bloom, so It's going to be making a show of its purple blooms. Okay. Some bronze statues. Here we have a Coreopsis. This is an odd one. This is like a threadleaf variety with big white blooms. Usually they're yellow. Actually, this is probably this bud makes me think it's Coreopsis, and there is threadleaf styles of that plant. A deep, deep purple plant here. It's Caladium. I will indicate with pointing, just in case you are watching on one of those black and white computer monitors. So, lots of fine plants. We'll have a quick look over here. There's something else we've not ID'd yet. As we get closer, we might once again butt up against my lack of knowledge. Alright, so finishing out our tour of the perimeter of the Ashland Estate Gardens, we're coming upon more caladiums. And this roughage around the edges of these makes me think this is the goat's beard. Not sure. So many plants look alike. And these were nice tall irises. Wish I was here to see them. I'm sorry, lilies. Nice tall lilies. Don't think we've spotted any iris. Alright, so the gardeners in this zone really seem to like this plant. I wish I knew what it was. And finishing out with more hostas and ferns and lamb's ears. So now we're going to dive into the garden proper, the meat of the shrubbery and the trees. Beginning here with this geometric layout, which is housing a holly bush. If you like hollies, you would probably want to visit the Bernheim Garden in Louisville, Kentucky, which has a whole holly walk, if I'm not mistaken. You can go see 100 varieties or more. So another beautiful geometric layout. A big magnolia, I think. Shrubbery and trees can be tough to ID for me. Alright, very nice. Last year, or in years past, I think they had dozens of these bulbs in this area of the garden, but now this may be the sole bulb. Very odd. A fantastic specimen. Looks almost like a spider plant, which is an annual. Cleome, but this is definitely a bulb. What a spectacular specimen. Looks great against that variegated foliage. Garden tenders need to come along and do some tending, but an evocative display nonetheless. Over there it looks like one's just starting. Great. Great, great, great. Okay. I like that they've chosen begonias this season. Okay, here we have the rose garden, and they're listed. At least a few of them are marked. This is Summer Dream. I do love natural peach hues, lilacs, sunset colors once again. Let me get a little sniff while I'm here. Several more gorgeous roses. Timepiece, but we're in a place now where time doesn't exist. Evidenced by the voodoo rose in front of us. Okay, I'm going to slice through there. Just a great formal display. Pretty much any time of the year when you visit, you'll be able to see this grouping of visitors who liked it so much here at Ashland that they decided to just stick around and never ever leave. So we've got an umbrella there and a sun hat on this figure. And someone lounging in their derby cap. And on the bottom of the bed, some time. Circled by time, but not subject to it. All right, some other roses. This is, I guess, the German Gruß Aken. What a show, what a delight. And despite its small size, even more fragrant than the other two. An overview from this area of the billowing boxwoods and gorgeous roses. And now join me over here, and we'll get a look at some of the other dazzling stuff. Right here we have some Laribe, chosen as the ground cover. This one's blooming. There's its first bloom, so this will be an expansive show of purple soon. And then nicely regimented herb garden. So you can fill your nostrils if you come along and visit. Wild array of scents. You can see that it's been very dry and hot lately. And we've got nasturtiums here, which is a fine ornamental but also edible, leaf and flower alike. So if you want to entertain your dinner guests, some edible flowers. Nasturtium is one of the go-tos. We have sage there, and basil at my elbow. And thyme probably is one of my favorite garden herbs. The aroma does it for me. And some other shrubbery, keeping with the formal theme. It's a great combo of the informal corridor plantings and very structured inner plantings. So this is a great place to while away the hours, to come and have lunch, to bring your friends. And on the grounds you can play wiffle ball or frisbee or bocce, anything you please. Okay, so we have some ornamental peppers, which will probably change to hues of orange and red as time goes by. Alright, and then this little plant, I'm certain it's attractive to beneficial insects. So, some fascinating choices. We're going to be exiting the garden now, so thank you so very much for joining me. And I've been thrilled to be your host. As we explore the Ashland Gardens here at the Henry Clay Estate in Lexington, Kentucky. Thanks very much.